Okay. I'll start with the Barbie from last week. I cleaned her up. I did take her out of that dress, the Soul in the Spotlight she was in. It is quarantined in this plastic bag because it's just shedding little plastic bits everywhere. And that's annoying. But the Barbie herself, and there's just little black plastic bits on things already. The Barbie herself cleaned up really nicely. This is a reproduction swimsuit from the Barbies from the 90s. It fits terribly. I got the studs out of her ears, and you can see there is some verdigris, but it's not the worst it could be. And I got a clear elastic into her ponytail, and her hair turned out to be in much better shape than I expected once I got it in the correct configuration. She's still a really surprising find. But the next day, I went into a different thrift store and I found a Sasha baby. I know Sasha's not as well known as Barbie, but if you've read many books about dolls, you will read about Sashas, and finding them at thrift in the US especially, I gather, is a pretty rare thing. So I've got a Sasha now. At first I thought, oh, this just means I don't care about Sasha. I will just sell this straight away, especially don't care about the babies, and then I will have recoup the money that I spent on everything thrifting that week, including the Barbie trip. But I might try making clothes for a while, see how that goes. And I had already picked up this Sasha. I was already thinking, oh, this will pay for everything, when I looked over and saw her. So, I think I had pretty good thrift luck last week. I mean, this is not even all that I got that day, is the Sasha and the Claudine. But she actually had a $10 price tag on her. But obviously that's pretty good. So anyway, this alone would also be an amazing find. And then the other things I thrifted at the store that day, I found this gal. You can see she still has her price tag on her, because I want to actually take this dress off of her, dress her in different clothes. And I thought this would be a regular dress me doll kind of dress where I would have to cut the dress off of her and then put an actual fastening in the back, but it has snaps. And she feels like she's made out of a really nice vinyl. She's a Gambina doll from New Orleans, souvenir doll. Her name is Liana, or Leanna. So I really like this print in her dress too. So I'm going to be happy to get this stuff off of her and onto another doll and get her into some more contemporary clothes. Maybe put a little more paint around her eyes and maybe repaint her lips, because she's pretty judgmental looking right now. But there's nothing wrong with a judgy doll. And those were the things off the shelves. And then off the toy table, I actually picked, there were cat toys on there, which the cats do appreciate. Grabbed a few things for the kiddo. These were on there, which I found these were part of a 3-robot set, but they still work, they still move, since they are wind-up tin toys, so robots are always fun. And then the dolls on the random toy table. This is a Disney Fairies Tinkerbell friend, Fawn. Fawn. I think it's Fawn. Not too familiar with them. She is made by, it says Playmates on her back, but looking through eBay, I did not see one that looked like this. So if anybody knows anything about these dolls, I'm just curious more than anything. Her wings are obviously missing. There were several sets of fairy wings on the table, some of which I did pick up, but none of them were hers. And then I found this, I don't remember what his name is, Kenya's boyfriend, because it says 2012. Kenya's World on the back. Found this guy. Might do something about his arm articulation, might not. His His head's actually kind of big too. But it's always nice to find more dark-skinned fellows. And there was a articulated fashionista. So that all went into the $3 bag. Also on that table was a Barbie head, a superstar sculpt with pale blonde hair and pale pink lips and green eyes. Pale, not light green eyes, not super dark green eyes. So I have looked on eBay and Chris has looked on eBay and we have not found who this doll is. Well, the head, like I said, I have no idea what body she was on because there's no body on the table. I'm sure that it's a body with a broken neck somewhere. And so, but since then, I went ahead, I put her on an articulated fashionista's body. I curled her hair and I painted over her lashes and actually used acetone to remove her lower lashes. And I put some pink pearl medium on her lips. And here she is. So that was just a silly, springy doll. And then remember, I know you remember that clown from last week's video that I thrifted from the random toy table? Along with Barbie. Of course, Barbie is appreciated, but I felt like that clown should get some appreciation too, even though it's a scary clown. So I put the clown head on a new Bratz body with, I hacked some, I think they're Moxie girls' shoes to go onto the new Bratz body. And the thing about this clown head is it had a big bald area in the center because, you know, clowns and bald wigs, which I would have been okay with that, except there was a big hole in the middle where the knit hat cap thing that I had been wearing had a piece of yarn jabbed down into this scalp. So I wanted to cover that up, so I gave her a little extra hair. The problem is, I didn't think about the overall effect of a scary clown with like a red splat in the middle of the head. I also gave her tiny, tiny light reflection dots. And I think I served to make her a little scarier. But it would be nice to her because, you know. And I did get stubborn and squeeze a Monster High blood drip bracelet over her. The squishy bracelet and the squishy hands. I don't know if I'll be able to get it off of her again. Maybe if I dunk it in boiling water and make it softer. Because like I said, very stubbornly just sat on the floor here where I dress my dolls and made it work. I'm considering sometime setting up the camera, just sitting on the floor where I dress dolls. Like under this desk is the trunk where I keep all my doll clothes and shoes and accessories and things. And I usually just sit down next to that by the window and that's where I dress the dolls. And I don't know if you'd be interested in watching that. I couldn't live stream it because I don't have the equipment to live stream. I don't think I do, at least. But I'm just curious. I know a lot of people do post dolly dress up videos, but I have a feeling mine might be kind of chaotic since I'm on the floor, which means that sometimes I just have to stop because I have a lap full of Chip and he doesn't want me to pay attention to dolls. He wants me to pay attention to Chip. And another doll I bought last week was that vintage like kid doll from the 60s, larger EG brand doll. And although I think she has kind of a spooky look to her, I went ahead and made something sweet for her because this is some of the cloth that Bailey very generously sent. And this is cloth that I had for a while and I could not resist matching the orange bunnies with the orange stripes with the backgrounds of the bunnies and her orange blush. I also repainted her eyebrows. They're not great, but they're better than the eyebrows she had before. And I put some lashes in the slots in her eyes where lashes obviously had been. I really am considering painting a line at the top of her eye. You can see there's a gap between where her eyeball ends, the eyelid begins, and then the lashes are on there. I think I'm going to paint a dark brown line, the same color as the brows, between the eyeball and the lashes. I hesitated to do it initially because I didn't want to look like she was wearing a lot of makeup. My first thought for her actually was making her like this super vampy rockabilly type. but she really does have a kid's body, so I didn't want to do that. There is the temptation to make her sort of a spooky Wednesday Addams type of kid, but I mean, spooky can happen in a bunny print dress. I made the collar freehand. I used the bodice pattern for Super Dolphy. It just shortened it a lot. I could have taken it in more. I didn't dart it in the back at all. It's pretty baggy. But I freehanded the collar, and I actually have it tacked down in the front because it wants to fly off in its own direction. And I freehanded the tights, which actually worked out pretty well. And those are shoes that I had around before. So, and she actually, I don't know if she'll do it now. She can actually, she's really well balanced. I actually had her standing on the dresser back there for a few days without her falling down. So that's always nice. I don't have any nice springtime plants outside to go take a picture with, and it's raining anyway. So far her pictures have just been inside on the set for smaller dolls. But I just love her black eyes. So those were the thrift doll adventures. And then I got some stuff from Susan. Thanks as always. Susan's always so nice in the comments, and she sends stuff that's always overwhelming. I actually recorded a video of the box opening. It took about 50 minutes. So if you'd like to see that, it's still on my camera. I haven't even put it on my computer yet. I'll edit it and put it up in 2 parts. And I will show you some of the dolls now, though. I won't show you any of the cloth. There's so much nice cloth she sent, too. It's like they would open it up and be, oh, there's some stickers and things, and then a layer of cloth, and oh, dolls. And then more layer of cloth, and oh, amazing doll-sized zippers, vintage doll zippers that are just wonderful. And then more layers of cloth, and then more dolls, and it's just this wild trip through opening the box. But some of the dolls she sent, well, this doll, the head only, it was a craft pick. So I took the pick out, and the plug in the neck that the pick was attached to left just this really big hole in the bottom of the neck with nothing inside to grip any neck connections. So I spent a long time trying to find bulkier and bulkier and bulkier things, but it's just the head kept slipping down on the neck no matter what I put on the neck connector itself. So finally, what's in there is a Barbie glue head, and just to show you how this is no loss of a doll, she's just a blonde doll. And look at the glue that was in there. So, oh no, this isn't even the glue. This is one of the dolls that I tried a couple times, just cutting the neck connector out so the head would fit. I actually did 2 glue heads. But then finally, the 3rd glue head, I took the time to cut all the hair off and scrape all the glue out, and then I cut off the face. And I cut off the back of the head. And that's actually what's inside this head, is most of a Barbie head to hold on. But yeah, it works. And she is on a live body. And I haven't gotten pictures of her yet because the idea to do the Barbie head came pretty late last night. So that's a doll that was sent by Susan. And this Talking Diva Stars, which I remember seeing Diva Stars in the store, but I never actually have done anything with them. So I'm not sure what will happen if I start to customize her. It could be interesting. I actually think the head would be cuter on a much smaller body, make it more Blythe scale, but I don't know. She is full of electronics. Like I said, I haven't opened her up to see what I can do, or even to see if her batteries, I don't even know if there are batteries in here or not. But this should be interesting because I've never actually done anything with Diva Stars before. I always assumed that Diva Stars just had a regular belly button Barbie body because the arm belly button Barbie. But the body is actually a little bit smaller and has flat feet, and this could be an interesting project. Everything Susan sends could be an interesting project if I would just sit down and do it. Oh yeah, I didn't put this up. This is what I used to get hair out of the inside of a doll head, and this, I wondered why I didn't put it up last night. That's because it's still covered with glue. I need all the glue off of it. And Susan sent a sour grapes, which I've had and I've thrifted and sold sour grapes several times before, so this is my sign to keep the sour grapes. And an Applause Pocahontas, which I don't know if I even knew this doll existed. I don't know how. Did Applause make many Disney gals or not? Because this is a body I'm completely unfamiliar with. You know, I got her yesterday and I forgot to look her up. Is this Chrissy or Velvet? It's one of those ideal growing hair dolls. And you press this and you can pull her hair out to as long as length. You can unbraid it and style it, and then when you're ready for her to have short hair again, you just dial it back in. So she needs to be cleaned up a little bit, and then I'll probably do something with her and the ideal Melody that I think Susan sent, and the ideal Jody that I have too. And there's a maxi. There are actually a lot of super star-faced Barbies, well, other Barbies in there too. But I'm showing the highlights. The doll highlights, not the sewing highlights, not the sticker highlights, not the craft highlights. So Maxi is another one that I've thrifted and parted with, so this is going to be my first Maxi to play with, and she has super floofy crimped hair. I don't know if it's worth trying to flatten out and re-crimp or what I will end up doing with her. And I feel like this doll's almost wasted on me because I barely know. I think this is Mercury. I barely know the Sailor Moon characters. And she's obviously missing her, I don't think it's a tiara, headband, whatever that thing is. But she could be fun to do interesting things with. I didn't know her hair, the doll's hair, was striped like that. That's fun. I remember when I think it's the Irwin dolls were in the stores, and I looked at them back at the day, and I didn't know anything about Sailor Moon, and I just thought they were so lackluster. But now that I'm older, I can appreciate their subtleties. And then 2 Kawaii Crush dolls, which I've had people say, ugh, at least they have a lot of hair that you can steal for other dolls, but people are also doing interesting customs with these. So I don't think I will steal their hair. I'm not sure what I'll do with them, but they get to keep their hair. The heads, I'm sure, will end up on other bodies, although these are really interesting bodies. A Beatrix girl. I don't remember them enough to know who she is. This is an interesting body. I've had a few. The first Beatrix girl body I had, I didn't like it at all because the arms are so long. The second one I got, I realized that since the arms are vinyl, you can actually like cut off about a 1/4 inch, drill a new hole in, and just put this lower arm back into it, and then suddenly her arms aren't so weirdly long. So that will be cool. The heads I'm not so sure about. The head of the first one I had, I actually put on one of these really little briar bodies, and it was pretty funny, and somebody actually adopted it for themselves. I think this head would work on a larger body, but I'm not sure. Like I said, basically she sent a box full of ideas. That's even, like I said, discounting the cloth, which there's a giant bag that I found to put all the cloth in because there's not enough room to put it into my closet where I store my cloth. So, or the dresser where I sell my dog cloth. So she sent a fully articulated Equestria girl, which I've never had one that was fully articulated before. I've seen repaints of these as basically as anything but a horse. I mean, they're barely horsey anyway, although these ears are kind of horsey. Anyway, I'm babbling. I've seen customs of these that are really, really cool. And one of the more surprising dolls in the box was this gal who I've dressed from my own doll stash. And on her back, in the middle of her back, it says Old Navy. Because when I pulled her out, I was like, huh, is she hand painted? No, she's printed. What is that? And I saw the Old Navy. It's like, oh yeah, I remember now. When Old Navy released these dolls in like 2010 or 2011, And then my doll community was all on Flickr. We're on Flickr saying, oh, wow, where can I find those? And it's like the only, like 2 out of 3 times in my whole life I've been into Old Navy was to see if they had the dolls. And now I've seen reports that say they were actually released in California, but I don't know. So it was really surprising to find this Old Navy doll in that bag. So I brushed her hair out and put it up really fast because she has a full part. And I'm never one to shy away. I always liked dolls that you could actually put their hair up. You know. Growing up, we called these Buffies from the Girl and Family Affair. So it always takes me to remember that they're called pigtails by normal people. So I like dolls with full parts. It's like when I rerouted Space Princess PJ, I kept her full part. Anyway, I'm definitely rambling and babbling, and the only other things I want to say is I have done some more work on the doll I said I would give away. I have not forgotten that I said I would do a giveaway at 500 followers. I'm just being really slow at working on it. So I got her hair started, so I need to work on getting the hair perfect and then make clothes for her, and also at some point figure out exactly how to do a giveaway on YouTube. I know the main thing is you have to make 100% sure people know that I'm doing the giveaway, not YouTube. YouTube has nothing to do with it. YouTube is just the frame for me to put the giveaway in. Okay, and then the other thing I need to mention is that I got another box today. This one's from Mikayla Fur, who has sent things in the past that are usually fantastic. So I will probably make another video opening that. I'm not opening it here because I'm going to be putting up a lot of stuff this week if you want to see box opening videos. And I have learned today, when I got back from my errands today, I got a message that I have another box from another doll person incoming. And then I know I expect one more box from somebody that I've actually been working on a trade with since like last year. And then after that, I think I'm going to have to ask that, please, I need time to work on this stuff. I know you like seeing me do box openings, but I hope you like as much seeing me show what I do with the stuff. And I need time to actually do the stuff. I feel so ungrateful. Thank you for everything you've done. Thank you for watching, and I hope to keep making stuff that you want to see. Thanks.